application evaluation is ongoing. So if something is presented to us between provisional and final, we will evaluate that as an ongoing review of that application. We'll also present any materials that are necessary, and then finally the results of that inspection, I guess ascertaining or evaluating compliance. The presentation will include that inspectional report, as well as, if necessary, any photos that we may take, and any materials that we've gathered during the inspectional process. And lastly, we may recommend certain conditions to be met at the final stage that we will then evaluate before the facility may.
As examples?
I mentioned previously the conditions of product being input into metric, all inventory being tagged properly, and ensuring that there's a valid API or upload to metric that we can ascertain and inspect against using the RFID technology.
Commissioner?
I just had a question about the process of final recommendation. Are we going to have an opportunity to have a panel in front of us of folks from our staff to ask questions of, seeing as there is sort of review what's on paper, but are we going to be able to ask questions of staff as well?
It would, through the chair, it would be my hope and my expectation that at the final license stage would be first a presentation from staff on the inspectional process, the evaluation of the license application, but also to make available to the commission the folks that actually conducted that inspection, and you therefore hear from them. Also, if there's any specific questions that I may not have the specific answer to, that I may not have been exposed to, they'd be available to you.
Thank you, Commissioner Price. So we'll make that happen. Any other questions on the final license before we get to the last step, which is approval for opening? Establishment opening?
So as I indicated, the metric is obviously an important compliance tool for us. We want to make sure that folks are in it and that it's functioning for each individual licensee, but also that they're able to see that information from a batch upload standpoint. So that may, again, maybe one of the conditions that we would recommend. If there's any other conditions that would need to be placed, we'll certainly ascertain compliance with that. And then what we would intend to do from the staff level is essentially issue a notice that is, you may in fact commence your full operation. So a good example, or hopefully what would be illustrative there, is, say for instance, a retail establishment secures a final license, can therefore begin to collect and gather inventory, but they would not be able to sell to the general public just yet. We would conduct that in kind of final review, make sure that that inventory is in fact a metric, that they're functional, and then issue that final commence full operations. It's hard to give necessarily a timeline. That's really going to be largely up to the licensee, but assuming they're able to do that efficiently, we would certainly get out there again promptly to ensure that they're ready to go and make that commence full operations notice available.
So once again, thank you for your responsiveness and putting this together, and for the thoughtfulness. It seems to be a very complete and thorough process. Let me ask, are there questions either on this last slide about establishment opening or on the process as a whole from anybody on the commission? Please go ahead.
I want to thank you for the thoroughness of that presentation. It was exactly what I was envisioning. And I also want to say I have full faith and confidence in the licensing and investigation team, and I can see how efficiently they're working and that this is moving as fast as possible. I also just want to acknowledge that we hear the public, I hear from the public a lot that their primary concern is the dates and when the date of the store's opening will be. And it's not that we have that date and are refusing to give it. As you can see from this presentation, there are many steps where they're out of our control and we can't predict it. But what we can do is make a commitment for the steps that are under our control for how long they will take. And we can also commit at each opportunity that we have to share where we are in the process. But I definitely want to say that out loud, because in the past I might have been impatient about questions about when those stores are opening, and I absolutely acknowledge and understand that the voters are our most important constituency that put this forward, that they've been waiting 2 years, that we have put dates out there, and so they now see a perceived delay. And so I'm making it a priority. I think we should all make it a priority to continually check in with the timeline, where we are in the timeline, and then as soon as we are able to give a date.
Other questions or comments? Commissioner Doyle? I can't see you raising your hand.
Oh, sorry, I can go mute. I'm fine, thank you.
Okay, any other comments or questions? Then again, thanks for doing this, and thanks for the commitment to do it thoroughly and promptly. Is there anything else in your report? I guess, yes, the schedule of PDAs going forward.
Sure, thank you, Mr. Chairman, again. So, on the left-hand column, you'll see the upcoming meetings for the commission, and I think the attempt here is to give a bit of a flavor for what may be on the docket. As the next meeting, the next scheduled meeting is October 4th. As the commission will recall, during the final regulatory discussion, there was a decision to postpone consideration of the social consumption delivery issues that were contained within the draft regulations to October for discussion as a policy, with an intention to return in February for any draft regulations that would be the results from that. So that would be, the two meetings in October would be the 4th and the 18th. On November 1st would be a regularly scheduled meeting for consideration of the medical marijuana regulations. That'll follow the public comment period, which as a plug is open now and available now, and certainly would encourage folks to submit those comments to us.
Through the 29th of October?
29th of October, which is the hearing, the public hearing date in both Boston and Springfield.
And I think I asked the last meeting, do we have locations and times set for those meetings yet?
We do. So the 29th, I believe the morning is Springfield.
Oh, but we can post it on our website. though.
It
It's not
will
posted.
also be advertised in newspapers.
Great. Okay, thank you.
And I assume we'll also share it amongst our social media as well. The November 15th, 29th, and December 13th are regularly scheduled meetings. Within that window could certainly be a follow-up if necessary on social consumption delivery from a policy standpoint. My expectation for the 4th and 18th of October would be a staff presentation of kind of gathering information for the commission's consideration. And of course, if there's any follow-up that's necessary based on that, we do have that window to return.
Yeah, I think it's important just to remind people that when we did agree to defer, we agreed specifically to do this in October. We raised the issues that we were concerned about at the time we had the conversation, and asked the staff to do some investigatory work, including looking at the experiences in other states. And so it's important just to acknowledge that staff work has been going on for that period of time, and that will report back to us as part of the input for the conversation we'll have on the 4th and 18th. So thank you for that.
And so the schedule of meetings indicates that some direction or decision on the two issues of social consumption and delivery would be anticipated by the January 10th meeting, which would then give us an ability to staff, if necessary, to start developing draft regulations that give us that opportunity to come back in February to consider those. The middle column you see there is more key dates and deadlines and events. The first is more of a plug that the Boston Chamber is putting together a program relative to the fear certainty of now, and the Shakia, the Director of Community Outreach, is planning an event relative to the intersection of cannabis and equity, which is on September 25th. There's information on our website as far as registering for that event. Registration's been very robust, which is obviously a good thing for us to see, and so we wanted to put a plug in for that. As you mentioned, October 29th is when the public comment period closes on the draft co-location and medical marijuana regs, and the public hearings are scheduled again Springfield and Boston on that day as well. January 1st is the deadline to report. The special commission on operating under the influence of driving impaired is that statutory deadline. That is a commission that I chair with 12 other members, and we're meeting regularly. And lastly, as previously mentioned, February would be the anticipated timeline for consideration of any regulations relative to social consumption delivery. On the right-hand column, the rightmost column, is just other meetings that are happening around the commission, but certainly relevant to the commission's work. The Cannabis Advisory Board, the full board, has a meeting scheduled for November 8th. The Special Commission on Operating Under the Influence and Impaired Driving has two meetings scheduled of October 12th and November 9th. Commissioner Doyle, as the chair of the Energy and Environment Working Group, has been meeting feverishly and has a meeting scheduled for October 12th. And lastly, the Citizen Review Committee, as developed in the Commission's regulations, is scheduled to meet on November 29th.
questions?
Yes. So just to underscore, the social consumption discussion and delivery discussion, it may look misleading up there that those are the only discussions, but that's actually the beginning, right? And it will be focused on the concerns that were previously raised at our public meetings, and our staff will be making a report on those issues at that time. And I would encourage the staff that's putting that together, if they have recommendations based on their research or looking at other states or based on their work with licensees, I would love to hear those recommendations along with the report. Is there a public comment period associated with those topics?
There's not one that was anticipated. I think my expectation or my hope would be to, also, just as a refresher for the commission, is pull any public comments we did receive during that draft regulation phase. That's certainly something we could consider as well.
Any other questions or comments? Commissioner Flanagan?
I just have one comment. I mean, I think that, it's important that we have comment periods, but people are also free to send us emails and comments throughout the year for this. It's not like we have to have designated comment periods, so.
I think first that people do.
Well, I mean, I think they do, but I think sometimes we stress comment periods, so I just wanna reinforce the fact that, we are a public agency and that people have the ability, and that we're willing to take the comments all the time.
Very good point, thank you. Any other questions or comments?
Just wanted to say I agree. I don't think there's any need to set up a formal one.
I mean, if we do go through, we decide that regulations for one or both of those work, we'll comment, we'll hear about the regulations themselves. Anything else in your report, Mr. Executive Director?
No, nothing this time.
Well, thank you very much. That was thorough and very interesting. Appreciate it. Appreciate the hard work that went behind that. Before we get into the recommendation of provisional licenses, there are 3 orders of business for the commission to discuss. The first is a draft that was prepared by the executive director and staff on the annual report due to the legislature on September 28th. That has been circulated amongst the commission. I would encourage the commission to raise any questions or concerns they have from a substantive standpoint to the extent that there are any edit or ministerial changes. I prefer that we do that offline with recommendations to the executive director. So I'd like to open the conversation for any comments, as I said, that are of a substantive nature on the report as drafted. Mr. Flanagan.
I just have one comment. I just want to thank the staff. I think that once people read this report to the legislature, they'll see the diligence by which we've been working, over the past year, and the fact that the staff has been so involved in such a short period of time. I think this highlights a lot of what people have seen in our meetings and what we've tried to accomplish going thus far. And I really appreciate the work that everyone has put into this, and not only the report, but the daily work that happens at the commission.
Thank you. Other questions or comments on the report? Commissioner Doyle?
Thank you. I had on my comments earlier, and I think they're reflected in the draft that the commission is reviewing.
Right, the one that was circulated earlier today? Right. Okay, thank you. Commissioner McBride?
I just have one additional comment, and it's an edit that I will suggest to the executive director and staff, just about the number of presentations that the commissioners have made to stakeholder groups since we began a year ago. I know that it is many presentations that all of us have done, and I would like to see a reflection of that, because for the initial period of time before we had staff, when it was just the 5 commissioners and the executive director, that was sort of the primary way that we were out talking about the regulations and talking about our mandate and what we were doing. And then that has, with the addition of staff, that has become, I think, even more robust as we've included staff in a lot of those presentations. And I think it's a really important piece of what we have done, and I think what we're going to continue to do, being out in public and talking about what we're doing and bringing that to the various stakeholders. So I'll suggest that edit to you and
Great, thank you. Any other comments or suggestions?
Chairman, if I may.
Yes, please.
I think just for context for folks, this will be an annual report, an annual exercise that we intend to bring before the commission is required statutorily to issued to the appointing authorities of the commissions, the governor, attorney general, and treasurer, as well as the legislature, specifically the Ways and Means Committees and the Marijuana Policy Committee, on an annual basis, 90 days after the close of fiscal year. So that's where that September deadline came from. But I also want to, Commissioner Flanagan's point, and not to belabor the point, but I think the intent here was to have an organic effort from staff, from department heads, to really lay out the work that they've done and conducted, and then obviously give the commission a chance to really fuse that together in a comprehensive way. So this would be an annual exercise that we hopefully build off of in future years.
I think we've all been reflective over the last couple of weeks as we kind of, not celebrated, but certainly have noticed that it's our first anniversary, and it's a pretty amazing set of things that have been accomplished at very time. It's great to see it done this way. It does have support from we've come a long ways in a year. We all recognize that we have a lot more work to do. Some of these contradictory, but it's a present document. I appreciate the effort that we and staff pulling it together. Are there any other comments? It said will be editorial and ministerial suggested changes to be given to the executive director after the meeting. But if there are no other comments, then I'd like to ask for a motion to approve the executive director to submit this report subject to the editorial changes, grammatical and ministerial changes that might come, but to submit this report on or before the 28th of September. Thank you very much, Commissioner Flanagan. Can I have a second? Let the record show Commissioner Flanagan made the motion to approve, seconded by Commissioner McBride. Your vote, Commissioner Doyle?
Aye, but I just want to make sure that Commissioner McBride's proposed edit is recognized in the motion.
Fine.
It is.
So noted.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Doyle. Commissioner McBride?
Aye.
Commissioner Title?
Aye.
Commissioner Flanagan?
Aye.
Commissioner Hoffman, aye. Let the record show that the Commission approved the Executive Director submitting his report to the legislature subject to both ministerial edits as well as Commissioner McBride's proposed edit. Thank you very much again for your hard work here. The next two agenda items I'm going to do at the same time. As I said, based upon the law, we are required to appoint for an annual term a treasurer of the commission and a secretary of the commission. And I just, first of all, wanted to acknowledge and thank Commissioner Doyle for her role as secretary of the commission and Commissioner Flanagan for her role over the last 12 months as treasurer. They are unpaid positions and they are above and beyond their day jobs. And so I really appreciate the energy and the effort and the impact that the two of them have had by playing those roles. But I think it is appropriate that those roles rotate, that we don't ask anybody to do that for more than a year consecutively. With that in mind, I would like to ask for a motion to nominate Commissioner McBride as the treasurer of the commission for the next 12 months.
So moved.
Can I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you. Then the motion is to nominate Commissioner McBride as the treasurer of the commission. Can I have a voice vote starting with Commissioner Doyle?
Aye.
Commissioner McBride, do you have to abstain? Does she have to abstain or does she vote for herself?
I think she could vote for herself, yeah.
It'd be really interesting if she voted against herself, but
There's no conflict of interest there.
Commissioner McBride,
Aye.
Commissioner Pennell,
Aye.
Commissioner Flanagan,
Aye.
Commissioner Hoffman, aye. Let the record show that the commission unanimously approves the appointment of Commissioner McBride as treasurer of the commission for the next 12 months. Thank you. I would also like to ask for a motion to appoint Commissioner Title as the secretary of the commission for the next 12 months. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved. Second.
Let the record show Commissioner McBride made the motion to approve, seconded by Commissioner Flanagan. Let's do the voice vote, starting with Commissioner Doyle.
Aye.
Commissioner McBride.
Aye.
Commissioner Tyler, we've proven that you do not have to recuse yourself.
Aye.
Commissioner Flanagan.
Aye.
Commissioner Hoffman, aye. Let the record show that unanimously the commission approved the appointment of Commissioner Tyler as secretary of the commission. So again, thank you to Commissioners Doyle and Flanagan for their previous service, and thank you in advance to Commissioners McBride and Tyler for their future service. That is it for commission business, other than listening and discussing and voting on staff recommendations with respect to 8 provisional licenses. Mr. Executive Director. First license for consideration is BCWC LLC, number MCN 281263, which is Tier 2 indoor cultivation.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I will move through these as expeditiously as possible, but certainly, again, the attention that you serve, as you indicated, is BCWC LLC. I didn't make up the name. It doesn't roll off the tongue, but the address proposed is 34 Extension Street in Attleboro. As you indicated, the license type is cultivation from Tier 2, which authorizes up to 10,000 square feet. The applicant also has a product manufacturing application, which is pending next for consideration. Individuals are listed on the executive summary. There is one entity that is involved in the establishment, which is Future Farm Technologies. They're a Canadian corporation that lends financial support to applicants, including this applicant. They'll hold an equity stake in the establishment. This applicant is an RMD priority applicant, as they are currently in compliance with DPH's RMD. This would be, they have an RMD for provisional certificate of registration for dispensing, cultivation, and processing. They have a host community agreement that was executed on April 30th, and certification was provided. They also held a community outreach meeting on April 30th with notice published in the Sun Chronicle. On this application, we sent a notice to the municipality on July 6th. The response we received from the municipality was that they were currently going through their local ordinances and enacting them, so they could not certify at that time. I can say that the ordinances have been in fact adopted locally as of September 5th. So we did not receive certification. 60 days didn't expire. However, there are now local ordinances in place. And we will inspect during the final license process their compliance against that municipality. Their plan, the summary of their plan to positively impact areas of disproportionate impact, is that they plan to focus efforts in Mansfield and Taunton, as their proximity to Attleboro is relevant. The applicant has a two-pronged approach for positive impact. First is a financial support. They plan to make no less than $10,000 in financial contributions to the Boys and Girls Clubs of Taunton and the Mansfield YMCA Arts and Education Center. And for industry-specific instruction, they plan to provide no less than 50 hours per year towards educating individuals from disproportionately impacted locations in specific areas of the industry. There were no concerns raised during the background check. There are also no disclosures of any past civil or criminal actions or any occupational license issues. There are several individuals associated with the application that have business interests in other jurisdictions. That includes Brett Fish, Blair Fish, and John Kenny with an interest in Ocean State Cultivation Center, which is a medical marijuana business in Rhode Island. Brett Fish also has an interest in Ohio Craft Cultivators in New Hampshire. And Derek Ross has an interest in Future Farms Maine LLC and Harris Associates LLC. Future Farms Maine, of course, is in Maine, and Harris is in Rhode Island. These disclosures do not present any suitability issues. They secure their civic good standing with DOR as well as the Secretary of the Commonwealth. Their plan to be operational is that they reported they have engaged with architects to renovate and expand their current facility. They expect that construction will conclude in early December 2018. Their plan to be operational Monday through Sunday, 24 hours a day. As soon as the required summaries, we evaluated those summaries, or determined them to be substantially compliant with our regulations. Their diversity plan includes forming a diversity and equality committee to accomplish the goal of being diverse and to promote equitable hiring practices, establishing a mentorship program, creating incentives for current employees to recruit individuals from diverse backgrounds, and analyzing their employee population to ensure its diversity. They provided a detailed cultivation plan that summarizes their process, the supplies, and the techniques that will be utilized throughout the propagation, cloning, vegetative, flowering, harvesting, and curing phases. Therefore, the recommendation is to approve provisional license with the following conditions. The final license is subject to certification that the applicant remains in compliance with DPH regulations. The final license is subject to inspection and audit to ascertain compliance with our regulations. The final license is subject to inspection and audit to ascertain that the facilities are compliant with all of the state and local codes, bylaws, ordinances, and regulations. That the applicant shall cooperate with and provide information to the commission staff. And lastly, that the provisional license is subject to the payment of the appropriate license fee. This is based on the applicant's compliance with the laws and regulations of the Commonwealth and suitability for licensure, and upon the evaluation of the thoroughness of the applicant's responses to the required criteria. As of this date, the applicant has demonstrated that compliance, and accordingly, the applicant is recommended for a provisional license with those conditions.
Thank you. Are there any questions for the Executive Director? motion, please, to approve the staff recommendation to approve a provisional license for BCWC LLC, number MCN 281263.
So,
Have a second, please?
second.
Let the record show Commissioner Title made the motion to approve, seconded by Commissioner Flanagan. Your vote, Commissioner Doyle?
Aye.
Commissioner McBride? Commissioner Title?
Aye.
Commissioner Flanagan?
Aye.
Commissioner Hoffman, aye. Let the record show that the Commission unanimously approved the granting of provisional license to MCM 281263. Thank you very much. Next is also BCWC LLC, number MPN 281325 for product manufacturer. Mr. Executive Director.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As you indicated, the applicant is BCWC LLC. The address again is 34 Extension Street in Attleboro. This is their product manufacturing application. The Commission just approved a provisional license for their cultivation application. The same individuals are associated with the application, and the same entity is also associated with the application. This too is an RMV priority applicant. They are in compliance with DPH. The host community agreement was executed on April 30th. The owners meeting was held on April 30th as well. And the same issue as far as the local certification, given that we sent the notice in July, we did not receive within 60 days of response, or the city of Attleboro has in fact enacted their local ordinances. The same summary of this positively impacted areas of disproportionate impact applies to this application. There were no concerns raised during the background check on individuals or entities. There were disclosures of the same business interests in other jurisdictions. The applicant's proposed timeline is the same in that they have engaged with architects to renovate and expand their facility with the expectation of construction concluding in early December. The hours of operation are the same, Monday through Sunday, 24 hours a day. The same summaries were reviewed and evaluated with substantial compliance or substantial compliance being determined. The diversity plan is the same as well. Their products to be produced or sold are oils, including cooking oils, baked goods such as brownies, cookies, and chocolates, tinctures, lozenges, beverages, transdermal applications, patches, balms, and salves, vaporization cartridges, shatter, rosin, honey, hash, wax, sauce, capsules, tea bags, gummies, and infused sugar. The recommendation is that the applicant be issued a provisional license with the following conditions. That the final license is subject to certification of the applicant remains in compliance with DPH regulations. That the final license is subject to inspection and audit to ascertain compliance with our regulations. The final license is subject to inspection and audit to ascertain that the facilities are compliant with all applicable state and local codes, bylaws, ordinances, and regulations. That the applicant shall cooperate with and provide information to the commission staff. That the provisional license is subject to the payment of the appropriate license fee. This recommendation is based on the applicant's demonstrated compliance with the laws and regulations of the Commonwealth and suitability for licensure and upon the evaluation of the thoroughness of responses to required criteria. As of this date, the applicant has demonstrated compliance with the laws and regulations of the Commonwealth, and therefore the applicant is recommended for provisional license with the previously mentioned conditions.
Thank you. Other questions for Executive Director? Can I have a motion, please, to approve staff's recommendation to grant a provisional license to BCWC LLC, MPN 281325?
So moved.
Can I have a second, please? Let the record show Commissioner Title made the motion to approve, seconded by Commissioner McBride. Your vote, Commissioner Doyle?
Aye.
Commissioner McBride? Commissioner Title?
Aye.
Commissioner Flanagan?
Aye.
Commissioner Hoffman, aye. Let the record show that the Commission unanimously approved the staff's recommendation to grant a provisional license MPN 281325. Thank you. Next license is Late Spring Incorporated, doing business as Gage Cannabis Company, number MRN 281248, retailer. Mr. Executive Director.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As you indicated, this applicant is Late Spring Incorporated, DBA Gage Cannabis Company. Proposed address is 38 Littleton Road in Ayer. License being sought is that of a retailer. This applicant is not tied to an existing R&D. However, one of the owners is in fact affiliated with another entity that is Central Ave Compassionate Care, which has applied for several licenses and permissions. Does not represent a membership issue. The individuals tied to the business are that the individual is John Hillier as an owner and director. It does not have any other interest or entities that were disclosed. This applicant is a general applicant, not an R&D or economic empowerment priority applicant. The host community agreement was executed on March 27th. The community outreach meeting was held on August 2nd, with notification being published in this no objections raised to the commission. We received a response from the municipality on August 22nd. Saying the applicant is in compliance with all local ordinances and bylaws. Their plan to positively impact areas of disproportionate impact includes holding informational sessions, skill assessments, job fairs, resume cover letter workshops at least 3 times per year in Fishburne, Lowell, and Worcester to help individuals in these areas build the necessary skills to become more attractive employment candidates. Giving a hiring preference to individuals from areas of disproportionate impact and supporting local charities and community organizations. After 1 year of operating the adult use market, the applicant will review the following in order to measure the success of the plan. Attendance at those informal sessions and workshops, outcomes of interviews generated from job fairs, overall staff that are past or present residents of disproportionate impacted areas, and overall financial support provided to local charities and organizations. There were no concerns raised during the background check on individuals or entities affiliated with the application, and no disclosures of any business interests in other jurisdictions. Their plan to become operational is that they will require the approval of architectural plans and minor renovations to an existing structure, including the installation of security systems, fixtures, and equipment. They indicated that a short renovation period, approximately 2 months, would be required to become operational once approved for a provisional license. Their hours of operation proposed are Monday through Sunday, 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. They submitted the required summaries. We've evaluated those summaries and determined them to be substantially compliant with our regulations. The diversity plan includes doing the following: conducting deliberate advertising and other forms of outreach to ensure diverse individuals are aware of employment openings, developing and implementing a screening system to mitigate bias of any employees in the interview process, providing trainings and professional development opportunities to staff at all levels, and lastly, conducting annual reviews of applicant pools, staff demographics, and changes in employment status, promotions, or raises to ensure that its goals of diverse and unbiased workforce are achieved. This is a proposed retail application, so the applicant plans to establish and maintain business relationships with other adult use establishments to acquire their supply. And Mr. Hilliers indicated he's also the owner of an R&D that is applying for adult use cultivation and product manufacturing licenses. Staff recommends issuing a provisional license with the following conditions: that the final license is subject to certification that the applicant remains in compliance with DPH regulations, that the final license is subject to inspection upon to ascertain compliance with our regulations. Final license is subject to inspection to ascertain their facilities are compliant with all applicable state and local code, bylaws, ordinances, and regulations. They shall cooperate with and provide information to the commission staff. And the provisional license is subject to the payment of the appropriate license fee pursuant to our regulations. This is based on the applicant's demonstrated compliance with the laws and regulations of the Commonwealth, and suitability for licensure, and upon the evaluation of the thoroughness of the applicant's responses. We certify that we've done the due diligence review, and as of this date, they are in compliance with the laws and regulations of the Commonwealth. Accordingly, we recommend approval of the provisional license with the previously mentioned conditions.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Then, could I have a motion, please, to approve staff recommendation to approve a provisional license for Late Spring Incorporated, doing business as Gage Cannabis Company, MRN 281248. Have a second, please?
Second.
Let the record show Commissioner McBride made a motion to approve, seconded by Commissioner Flanagan. Commissioner Doyle, your vote?
Aye.
Commissioner McBride?
Aye.
Commissioner Tuttle?
Aye.
Commissioner Flanagan?
Aye.
Commissioner Hoffman, aye. Let the record show the commission unanimously approves staff recommendation for Late Spring Incorporated DBA Gage Cannabis Company, MRN 281248. Thank you. Next 2 licenses, I hope I don't mispronounce this, are for Temescal Wellness of Massachusetts, starting with MRN 281588, retailer.
I have a conflict with this, and our legal counsel suggested that the most cautious thing to do would be to step out.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Commissioner Tuttle. Don't what?
Don't worry, I'll watch it.
I think there are enough witnesses here, I'm unlikely to do something like that. And we'll get you as soon as we're done with these 2. Thank you very much. Mr. Executive Director?
Sure, thank you, Mr. Chairman. So the entity, as you indicated, is Temescal Wellness of Massachusetts. The proposed address for the establishment is 10 Callahan Drive in Pittsfield. The application and license being sought is that of a retailer. This applicant also has submitted cultivation, product manufacturing, and another retail application pending with the commission. The individuals indicated on the application are Robert Johnson and Edward Rebels. I apologize if I mispronounced it. Both are indicated as board members. Temescal Wellness of Massachusetts LLC as indirect authority over the applicant was formed for the purpose of providing initial capital and operations management services for the R&D business. The applicant represents the Edward Rebels, again, I apologize if this mispronunciation, exercises 100% control of that entity. This applicant is an R&D priority applicant, and they are in compliance with the Department of Public Health. They have a provisional certificate for dispensing, cultivation, and processing in Pittsfield, as well as an FCR for dispensing in Hudson and cultivation processing in Worcester. The host community agreement was executed on May 25th. We received certification to that effect, and the community outreach meeting was held on April 13th with notice published in the Berkshire Eagle. There were no objections raised or communicated to the commission. We received a response from the municipality on August 23rd. Their plan to positively impact areas of disproportionate impact includes assisting individuals in sealing cannabis-related criminal records by continuing to provide guidance and resources, providing economic opportunity for those who have been harmed by cannabis prohibition, providing safe consumer access to the legal adult-use cannabis market, and reducing the historic stigma and associated prejudices of marijuana in the locations in which it operates. There were no concerns raised during the background check on individuals or entities associated with the application, and no disclosures of any past civil or criminal actions or occupational license issues. There are individuals that disclose business interests in other jurisdictions. That includes Temescal Wellness in New Hampshire, as well as Temescal Wellness in Maryland. For Edward Rebels, these do not present any suitability issues. The applicant did secure a certificate of good standing from the Department of Revenue as well as the Secretary of the Commonwealth. Their proposed timeline to be operational, is that the applicant states that medical marijuana sales will commence in September, and this location can be operational in the adult use market in the fourth quarter of 2018. The proposed hours of operation are Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m., and Sunday, 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. They submitted the required summaries. We've evaluated those summaries and determined them to be substantially compliant with our regulations. The summary diversity plan includes continuing to work with a staffing agency to hire minority individuals from communities such as Pittsfield that have been harmed by cannabis prohibition. Continuing to utilize the Mass Supplier Diversity Office in order to identify certified women, minority, and veteran-owned businesses for vending and contracting services. Continuing to hold equal opportunity career fairs and measuring the diversity of the organization against the demographics of the marijuana establishments host to community. This is a retail application, so the applicant is vertically integrated R&D that is applying for adult use cultivation and product manufacturing licenses. In addition to providing its own supply of marijuana, it plans to procure additional supply from existing R&D wholesale partners if those partners are also granted adult use licenses. The commission staff recommends issuing a provisional license with the following conditions. The final license is subject to certification of the applicant remains in compliance with EPH regulations. The final license is subject to inspection and audit to ascertain compliance with our regulations. The final license is subject to inspection and audit to ascertain that their facilities are compliant with all applicable state and local codes, bylaws, ordinances, and regulations. They should cooperate with and provide information to the commission staff. And the provisional license is subject to the payment of the appropriate license fee. This recommendation is based on the applicant's demonstrated compliance with the laws and regulations of the Commonwealth and suitability for licensure upon the evaluation of the thoroughness of the applicant's responses. As of this date, the applicant has demonstrated their compliance, and we therefore recommend a provisional license with the previously mentioned conditions.
Thank you. Are there questions? Then let me ask for a motion, please, to approve the staff recommendation to approve Temescal Wellness of Massachusetts, Inc., MRN 281588 for a provisional license as a retailer. Have a motion, please. Have a second, please. Sorry. Let the record show Commissioner McBride made the motion to approve, seconded by Commissioner Flanagan. Commissioner Doyle, your vote, please.
Aye.
Commissioner McBride?
Aye.
Commissioner Flanagan?
Aye.
Commissioner Hoffman, aye. Let the record show the commission approved the granting provisional license to Temescal Wellness, Massachusetts, MRN 281588 by a vote of 4 to 1, 4 in favor. Commissioner McBride, Commissioner Doyle, Commissioner Flanagan, Chairman Hoffman, with Commissioner Title abstaining, or what's the correct terminology? Christine?
I'm sorry,
Is, how do I characterize Commissioner Title's vote, or non-votes? That she didn't vote, or
That she
did-
abstained.
She abstained, okay, so, yeah, I think I got it right there. Thank you very much. Next, again, Temescal Wellness, Massachusetts, MRN 281309, retailer. Mr. Executive Director.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As you indicated, this is Temescal Wellness of Massachusetts. The proposed address is 252 Coolidge Street, Hudson. This license being sought is that of a retailer. The applicant has also submitted a cultivation and product manufacturing license or application, and just to secure a retail provisional license. The individual is identified as the same as previously mentioned. The entity is identified as the same as previously mentioned, and this is an RMD priority applicant. The host community agreement was executed on June 8th. The community outreach meeting was held on March 30th, and there were no objections raised to the commission. We did receive a response from the municipality on September 13th. The applicant, the proposed plan of positively impact areas of disproportionate impact is the same as previously mentioned. There are no concerns raised during the background check on individuals or entities, and no disclosures of any past similar criminal actions or any occupational license issues. Proposed business interests in other jurisdictions are the same as previously mentioned, that do not pose or raise any suitability issues. The applicant, for their timeline to become operational, this applicant currently operates an RMD dispensary at this location, and they state that they've taken all necessary steps to be operational in the adult use industry upon the issuance of a final license. The proposed hours of operation are Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m., and Sunday, 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. They submitted all the required summaries, and those summaries have been determined to be substantially compliant. The diversity plan is the same as mentioned previously as well. Again, this is a retail application, so their plan to obtain marijuana products includes their vertically integrated RMD. They're applying for adult use cultivation and product manufacturing, and in addition to providing their own supply, they plan to procure additional supply from existing RMD wholesale partners if those partners are also granted adult use licenses. The commission staff recommends issuing a provisional license with the following conditions: that the final license is subject to certification that the applicant remains in compliance with EPH regulations. The final license is subject to inspection and audit to ascertain compliance with the requirements of our regulations. The final license is subject to inspection and audit to ascertain that its facilities are compliant with all applicable state and local codes, bylaws, ordinances, and regulations. The applicant shall cooperate with the commission staff. The provisional license is subject to the payment of the appropriate license fee. This recommendation is based on the applicant's demonstrated compliance with the laws and regulations of the Commonwealth and suitability for licensure, and upon the evaluation of the thoroughness of their application. As of this date, they have demonstrated compliance with the laws and regulations of the Commonwealth, and we therefore recommend approval of the provisional license with the previously mentioned conditions.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Thank you. Can I have a motion to approve the staff recommendation for Temescal Wellness, Massachusetts, MRN 281309? Can I have a second, please?
Second.
Let the record show Commissioner McBride made the motion to approve, seconded by Commissioner Flanagan. Commissioner Doyle, your vote?
Aye.
Commissioner McBride?
Aye.
Commissioner Flanagan?
Aye.
Commissioner Hoffman, aye. Let the record show that the commission approved the staff recommendation for Temescal Wellness, Massachusetts, MRN 281309 with 4 in favor: Commissioner McBride, Commissioner Flanagan, Commissioner Doyle, Commissioner Hoffman, with Commissioner Title abstaining. Thank you. Eric, did you get it? Thank you.
Did she leave or she come back? All right. Your computer is still here.
Great, thank you. Okay, next, Alternative Therapies Group Incorporated, MRN 281344, retailer. Mr. Executive Director.
Chairman, the entity applying here is Alternative Therapies Group. Proposed address is 107 Elm Street, Salisbury. The license being sought is that of a retailer. This applicant has also secured a provisional license for 2 retail locations, a cultivation facility, as well as a product manufacturing provisional license. Individuals listed are the same as previously indicated for ATG, which is Christopher Edwards, Julio Fuentes, George Christie, and Derek Brock. There are no other entities other than the applicant that have appear to have a direct or indirect control over the over the establishment. This applicant is an R&D priority applicant. The host community agreement was executed on August 13th. The community outreach meeting was held on July 25th. There were no objections communicated to the commission. We received a response from the municipality on September 6th. The plan to positively impact areas of disproportionate impact includes conducting career fairs in Haverhill and Lynn, scheduling and conducting formal interviews with individuals from Haverhill and Lynn, offering job skill assessments and providing guidance for interested parties to receive training relevant to the establishment's positions, continuing to make charitable donations to local nonprofit organizations, and conducting food drives to benefit local food pantries. There were no concerns raised during the background check of individuals or entities, and no disclosures of any past civil or criminal actions or occupational license issues, and no disclosures of any business interests in other jurisdictions. They plan to become operational, is that there is construction going on at this location, which has commenced and should be completed by the second week of October. The proposed hours of operation are Monday through Sunday, 9 a.m. to 6:45 p.m. The applicant submitted the required summaries, and those summaries have been determined to be substantially compliant. Their summary of the diversity plan includes a diverse workforce. The applicant plans to build upon an already diverse staff of executives and managers. The applicant will provide an inclusive and flexible environment for employees by identifying and removing any remaining systemic barriers to equitable access, participation, and progression in employment, so that all employees have the opportunity to fully contribute to life at the company. The applicant aims to create a working environment that allows employees to safely seek support to address issues arising from domestic or family violence. The applicant recognizes that employees may face situations of domestic and family violence that may have an impact on their attendance and productivity at work. And lastly, that the applicant plans to perform staff surveys, analyze results, identify areas for improvement, and take corrective steps. The plan to obtain marijuana products includes that they are vertically integrated R&D and possess adult use provisional licenses for cultivation and product manufacturing. They plan to supply their own products for retail purposes. Commission staff recommends issuing a provisional license with the following conditions: that the final license is subject to certification that the applicant remains in compliance with EPH regulations. The final license is subject to inspection and audit to ascertain compliance with our regulations. The final license is subject to inspection and audit to ascertain that their facilities are compliant with all applicable state and local codes, bylaws, ordinances, and regulations. That the applicant will cooperate with and provide information to commission staff. And the provisional license is subject to the payment of the appropriate license fee. This recommendation is based on the applicant's demonstrated compliance with the laws and regulations of the Commonwealth, and suitability for licensure, and upon the evaluation of the thoroughness of the applicant's responses. As of this date, the applicant has demonstrated compliance, and we therefore recommend a provisional license with the previously mentioned conditions.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Then can I have a motion, please, to approve the staff recommendation on Alternative Therapy Group Incorporated, MRN 281344 retailer? And second, please.
Second.
Let the record show Commissioner McBride made the motion to approve, seconded by Commissioner Tidal. Your vote, Commissioner Doyle?
Aye.
Commissioner McBride?
Aye.
Commissioner Tidal?
Aye.
Commissioner Flanagan?
Aye.
Commissioner Hoffman, aye. Let the record show the commission unanimously approved the recommendation of staff on Alternative Therapies Group Incorporated, MRN 281344. Thank you. The next two and the last two are both from Central Avenue Compassionate Care Incorporated. First, MCN 281505, Tier 1 Indoor Cultivation. Mr. Executive Director.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As you indicated, the applicant is Central Ave Compassionate Care. Proposed address is 31 Central Avenue in Air. The license being sought is that of a cultivator Tier 1, which authorizes up to 5,000 square feet of cultivation. The applicant has also applied for a product manufacturing license. And as I indicated previously, Mr. John Hillier is also the owner of this entity, as well as Lake Spring Incorporated, DBA Gage Cannabis Company. Individuals associated with this establishment are John Hillier, Valerie Hillier, and Kenneth Frank. There are no other entities other than this applicant that have direct or indirect control over the establishment. This applicant is an R&D priority applicant. Their host community agreement was executed on March 27th. The community outreach meeting held on March 21st. There were no objections raised to the commission. We did receive a response from the municipality on August 22nd, stating that they are in fact in compliance with all local ordinances and bylaws. Their plan to positively impact areas of disproportionate impact is to do the following: hold informational sessions, skill assessments, job fairs, resume cover letter workshops at least 3 times per year in Fitchburg, Lowell, and Worcester to help individuals in those areas build the necessary skills to become more attractive employment candidates, giving a hiring preference to individuals from areas of disproportionate impact, and supporting local charities and community organizations. After 1 year of operating in the adult use market, the applicant will review the following in order to measure the success of their plan: attendance at the informational sessions and workshops, outcome of interviews generated from job fairs, overall staff that are past or present residents of disproportionate impacted areas, and the overall financial support provided to local charities and community organizations. There were no concerns raised during the background check on individuals or entities, and no disclosures of any past civil or criminal actions or occupational license issues, as well as no disclosures of any business interest in other jurisdictions. The proposed timeline to become operational is that they're currently an RMD, a vertically integrated RMD. The applicant states that it will be operational in the adult use market within 2 months of being issued a provisional license. The proposed timeline or hours of operation on Monday through Sunday, 6 a.m. to 11:30 p.m. They supplied the required summaries, and those summaries have been determined to be substantially compliant. The diversity plan includes conducting deliberate advertising and other forms of outreach to ensure diverse individuals are aware of employment openings, developing and implementing a screening system to mitigate bias of any employees in the interview process, providing trainings and professional development opportunities to staff at all levels, conducting annual reviews of applicant pools, staff demographics, and changes in employment status, whether it be promotions or raises, to ensure that its goal of a diverse and unbiased workforce is in fact achieved. This is a production license. There's no summary of plans to cultivate, issue, or supply to the commission, which will be inspected and gathered during the inspection process. The commission staff recommends issuing a provisional license with the following conditions: that their final license is subject to certification that the applicant remains in compliance with EPH regulations. Their final license is subject to inspection and audit to ascertain compliance with requirements listed in our regulations. Their final license is subject to inspection and audit to ascertain that their facilities are compliant relative to state and local codes, bylaws, ordinances, and regulations. The applicant shall cooperate with and provide information to commission investigators, agents, and employees upon request. The provisional license is subject to the payment of the appropriate license fee. This recommendation is based on the applicant's demonstrated compliance with the laws and regulations of the Commonwealth, and suitability for licensure, and upon the evaluation of the thoroughness of their responses to the required criteria. This applicant has demonstrated their compliance. We therefore recommend a provisional license with the previously mentioned conditions.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Then can I have a motion, please, to approve the staff recommendation for Central Ave Compassionate Care Incorporated, MCM 281505? Can I have a second, please? I'll let the record show Commissioner Flanagan made the motion to approve, seconded by Commissioner McBride. Your vote, Commissioner Doyle?
Aye.
Commissioner McBride?
Aye.
Commissioner Tittle?
Aye.
Commissioner Flanagan?
Aye.
Commissioner Hoffman? Aye. Let the record show that the commission unanimously approved staff recommendation for Central Avenue Compassionate Care Incorporated, number MCN 281505. Thank you. Last is also Central Ave Compassionate Care Incorporated, number MPN 281399, product manufacturer. Mr. Executive Director.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is also Central Avenue Compassionate Care. Proposed address is 31 Central Avenue in Air. The license being sought is that of a product manufacturer. They previously just secured their cultivation provisional license. As previously indicated, Mr. Hillier is the owner of this entity, as well as Late Spring Incorporated, DBA Cannabis. They've also applied for their adult use license. The same individuals are identified in this application. There are no other entities identified that having direct or indirect control over the establishment. This is also an RFP priority applicant. The host community agreement was executed on March 27th. Community outreach meeting on March 21st. We received a response from the municipality on August 22nd. Their plan to positively impact areas of disproportionate impact is the same as previously indicated. There were no concerns raised during the background check on individuals or entities associated with the application, as well as no disclosures of any past civil or criminal actions or occupational license issues. The proposed timeline is that they're currently operating as an RFP at this location. The applicant states will be operational in the adult use market within 2 months of being issued a provisional license. The proposed hours of operation are Monday through Sunday, 6 a.m. to 11:30 p.m. They submitted the required summaries those summaries have been determined to be substantially compliant. Their summary of the diversity plan is the same as previously indicated, and as indicated previously, there was no summary provided for the products to be produced, which will be gathered and ascertained upon inspection. The commission staff recommend issuing a provisional license with the following conditions. Their final license is subject to certification that the applicant remains in compliance with EPH regulations. Their final license is subject to inspection and audit to ascertain compliance with our regulations. Their final license is subject to inspection and audit to ascertain that their facilities are compliant with all applicable state and local codes, bylaws, ordinances, and regulations. The applicant will cooperate with and provide information to the commission staff. That the provisional license is subject to the payment of the appropriate license fee. This recommendation is based on the applicant's demonstrated compliance with the laws and regulations of the Commonwealth and suitability for licensure, and upon the evaluation of the thoroughness of the applicant's responses to the required criteria. As of this date, the applicant has demonstrated compliance. We therefore recommend a provisional license with the previously mentioned conditions.
Thank you. Are there any questions? And can I have a motion, please, to approve the staff recommendation for Central Avenue Compassionate Care Incorporated, MPN 281399? Have a second, please. I'll let the record show Commissioner Flanagan made the motion to approve, seconded by Commissioner McBride. Your vote, Commissioner Doyle?
Aye.
Commissioner McBride?
Aye.
Commissioner Title?
Aye.
Commissioner Flanagan?
Aye.
Commissioner Hoffman, aye. Let the record show that the Commissioner unanimously approves staff recommendation for Central Ave Compassionate Care Incorporated, number MPN 281399. Thank you. I think I'm going to do this every time we do provisional license reviews. I just want to, again, express my thanks to staff, particularly the enforcement and investigation staff, for the thorough and hard work on all of these, and for processing as many as they have in a short period of time. So thank you very much to the entire staff involved in this. Anything else, Mr. Executive Director? Next meeting is 2 weeks from today, October 4th, 2018. Please note that the location and the time are TBD. We are once again, begging people. By the way, thank you to the Mass Health Policy Commission for allowing us to use their facilities today. But we'll find a location, obviously publish it ahead of time. I just also want to put people on alert that it is likely, but not certain, that we'll do it earlier in the day. So please pay attention to the posting of the next meeting. It will be on October 4th, 2 weeks from today. There being no further business before the commission, I would like to ask for a motion to adjourn. Have a second, please.
Second.
I think we do have to unfortunately do a voice vote quickly. Commissioner Doyle?
Aye.
Commissioner McBride?
Aye.
Commissioner Flanagan?
Aye.
Commissioner Tuttle?
Aye.
Aye. We are adjourned as of 2:23 p.m. on the 20th of September. Thank you very much.